Hi, I'm Vicki Westling, and I have two quick questions that came in for the mayor. One of them is regarding the Whispering Giant. The Whispering Giant is enclosed and is fully protected through the winter months. The development department is working with a committee to secure funding to finalize a permanent enclosure. Hopefully that will be done soon. We don't have a date on that or a timeline, but the committee is working on funding for that. So there is a plan in place to enclose the Whispering Giant permanently. The second question that came in was with regard to fireworks noises during the early morning hours, late night. I've spoken with the mayor about this. The mayor is very concerned about certainly these kinds of disturbances. If you are disturbed during the night due to fireworks, due to loud noise, due to whatever it might be, please contact our police department. They're the ones who are best equipped to handle these things. Their number is 366-2266. So again, if you're disturbed during the early morning hours, during the evening, during the night, due to noise or some unusual activity, please contact our City of Dunkirk Police Department, 366-2266. Thank you, and thank you for watching City Speaks. Good afternoon. I'm Vicki Westling with City Speaks, and we're here today with our first show of the year for 2019. We have Mayor Wilfred Rosas and our Special Events Coordinator Hector Rosas, and this show is really going to focus on what's going on in our city as far as our special events, anything new that's happening, and what we can look forward to for 2019. So Mayor, let me get started with you. Tell me, what do we have to look forward to? What's new in 2019?
Well, this year for the first time we're actually planning to have a Winterfest. The tentative date, I believe, is the 9th of February. And this Winterfest is going to include, we're hoping that the harbor does freeze over. If it does, then we'll have an ice fishing tournament. There's a lot of excitement about this fishing tournament from the fishermen and the boaters. And if it doesn't freeze over, then we're still going to have a cold water fishing tournament. So there's a lot of excitement about that. We're also looking at, again, if the water freezes over, then we're looking at having a pond hockey tournament. And if it doesn't, then we're still going to have the hockey tournament, a street hockey tournament.
Okay, and I know we've been talking about having a pond hockey tournament for some time, so that's good that's happening. So what other kinds of things are going to be going on with this Winterfest?
Well, we also have a volleyball tournament that we're looking to have and put on. And this tournament will be open to everyone. There's teams that I believe are already signing up. So if anyone is interested, they should contact our development department. They can contact E.J. Hayes or our special events coordinator, Hector Rosas.
Okay, so that's something to look forward to for February, because that's always kind of a dull month. And what other kinds of things are happening now? We've received some great news, Hector, from a magazine. Suddenly we're going to be seen throughout the county and the whole of Western New York and Canada. Tell me about it.
Yes, we were named Best New Hotspot on Lake Erie. That Lake Erie magazine is based out of Ohio, and they cover the Quad State area and Ontario, Canada also, and they have a following of about 300,000 people and 100,000 subscriptions. So that will help us with tourism, and it'll get the word out there through the magazine, and which will state pretty much a lot of what Dunkirk Special Events does here in Dunkirk through that magazine, Living Lake Erie magazine. Yeah.
So the special events really does a lot of things in Dunkirk. Of course, not the least of which is our summer festivals. Tell me about it.
Well, before I touch base on the summer festivals, I just wanted to mention that the mayor had put us out on a mission last year to create a sport fishing charter boat directory, and we were able to accomplish that. And EJ and I worked closely with it, and this charter boat directory is available at City Hall, and it lists all the local charter boats in our area of Dunkirk, New York. We were able to accomplish that with the help of many of the charter boats, and they gave pictures and information on what they do. We also have a sunset cruise that's available also. That's listed in here for the summer. So I'll give you a copy of that,
Vicki.
You. And just remind your viewers on a weekly basis that we do have that available. That will be put on the website also.
Okay, very good. And so this is the sport fishing charter boat.
The local charter boats.
Very good.
So, Mayor, you'll be pleased that we got that done, and we got rid of the amount of the charter boat directories that we had, the literature that we had at the Small Business Saturday event, which was a huge event for us to close out the season during the Christmas area, and that we got probably 30 calls, I bet, in the office about the horse-drawn carriage that we got.
That was new, and I rode in the horse-drawn carriage with the mayor, as a matter of fact.
Did you really?
That was phenomenal, and the kids loved it. They thought it was great, and you pulled that off. Kind of a last-minute deal.
It was a last-minute deal, but I couldn't have pulled it off without the assistance of the Great Lakes Offshore Group, Race World Offshore, who sponsored that event for us, and we asked them if they would give back to the community, and they were more than willing to do so, and they will continue to do so. That's one of the highlights of the 2019 season coming up. I'm not sure if you're aware of the grant that we wrote, but we wrote a successful grant here, our Department of Development and Planning, which is led by Rebecca Yanis, our director, and through the contacts and many contacts that the mayor has made himself throughout New York State, it helped us to reach the attainable offices responsible for those grants, and we submitted our grant, and it was a successful application, and we were awarded $225,000 to help us with the Great Lakes Offshore Grand Prix, which means that you'll be seeing it in Dunkirk for another couple of years with the I Love New York campaign.
I Love New York campaign. Okay, come on. Now that's new. Let's talk about it. What is it about? What are we going to do for that, and what's it going to do for us?
Well, first, let me say I'm very grateful to Governor Cuomo for all the support that he provides for us. Being designated as a city that has an event that is considered part of the I Love New York campaign is a huge accomplishment for the city. And I can't say enough about our special events coordinator and his team and our development department for doing the job they do. This designation actually confirms that we're on the right path with our special events here. The state is acknowledging that by sponsoring this event. This is a huge designation for us. It now puts us in position where the state is also going to be helping us to get the exposure to bring in more people for this event here in the city of Dunkirk. So I'm very proud of that, very proud of the team. These guys are doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and to put together that proposal and do it successfully is, again, a huge accomplishment for our city.
And there again, thanking the governor, but certainly thanks to you for the efforts that you have made and the inroads you have made with the governor's office and his administration. So that's huge, Hector.
Sure.
That's another biggie. One more thing that the special events department and coordinator, certainly led by you, have done.
And we actually put him in contact on a phone conference with the executive director of the I Love New York campaign. Last year we did this. And he took the ball and ran with it. So I have to give him credit for that. Again, the team works together and the accomplishments are many. This is, again, a huge designation for us to be included as part of the I Love New York campaign. So, again, very proud of it.
Yeah.
So I have a statement to read from the I Love New York campaign and also from Larry Blyle from Race World Organization, and the statement from the Director of Tourism, New York State, Ross Levi, says, I Love New York is proud to support projects like Dunkirk's Great Lakes Offshore Grand Prix through our Market New York program. Events like this complement our efforts to encourage tourism across the state and promote New York as a destination where everyone can find what they love. So we're very proud to have heard from the Executive Director of Tourism here in New York State and have his statement, and we'll use that in our marketing. We also have a statement here from Race World Offshore CEO Larry Blyle, who we were just in contact with via conference call. And he states that the news from the state of New York helping support the event in Dunkirk will make this one of the largest events in our Powerboat series for 2019. Last year, 2018, was the first year of this event here in Dunkirk, and a lot of teams were not aware of the area and what the race site would be like. They heard the word back from all the teams that did participate and that were here in 2018, and now everyone wants to come. And so we are going to have a larger contingent of boats and crews next year, and everyone that was there this year has spread the word that Dunkirk, New York is the place to be. So my estimation is that we will have twice as many powerboats participating next year. They love the people and the interaction with the city, police, and fire departments, and the huge inaugural crowds. Believe me, Dunkirk is on the map for powerboat racing, and that's from CEO Larry Blyle from Race World Organization.
You know, that is just phenomenal to me. And now they're going to be, actually, are they not, is CBS, are they not doing something in February?
That we just got word today during our conference call. That date has been pushed back to March of 2019, so it's just 8 weeks away, and we'll be on live nationally and internationally on CBS Sports, and that's a first for Dunkirk. Not only is the I Love New York a first for Dunkirk under the leadership of Mayor Rosas, but to be on CBS Sports is just an honor, and we couldn't do it without the sponsorships of the presenting sponsors, DFT Communications, Lakeshore Savings Bank, Athenex Incorporated, H&K Services, and of course Chautauqua Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. We want to thank them wholeheartedly from the Dunkirk Special Events and Festivals Committee, and of course Mayor Rosas is here with us and sends his gratitude also. We're very appreciative of the help and the sponsorship which we receive. Last year was a banner year for us when it comes to recruiting the funds, and we were able to raise record numbers in funds.
Last year was phenomenal. It truly was. And of course, we had the air show. Do you have any special surprises for us this time? Or are you holding those close to your vest for a while?
Well, there's a couple of surprises. I'll mention that Music on the Pier will kick off June 6th, and we'll tie in the Springfest in with that weekend. And this year, which will be a first too, we're going to kick it off with a blues bash, and we're going to have a phenomenal blues bash because there's so many different genres of blues. We have bands coming in from Memphis, Tennessee for blues, Memphis type blues. Then we have Chicago blues, and we have a band coming in from Chicago. We also have local bands to open up. It's going to be a real blues bash.
Now this is new. We've not had a blues bash before. Is that correct?
We've done blues genres within the Music on the Pier, but not a blues bash weekend festivity, and that's what this will be.
Now you mentioned Music on the Pier, and of course everybody looks forward to that. And I remember the day when Music on the Pier started and they had one band, and that was it. You now have expanded that. We have a warm-up group and a highlighted band or a special band. But we've got activity that's going to be going on at the pier this year.
Sure.
What are we going to do about Music on the Pier?
Well, Music on the Pier, the mayor and I were talking earlier, and we'll probably be using a Memorial Park quite a few times. But we also have the availability of the new pavilion and stage at Point Gratiot, thanks to the mayor's efforts. There we were awarded some several $100,000 for renovations there, and the grants, we got new roofs on the pavilions and new concrete pads and new electricity, new bathrooms, and the park looks great right now. And we were able to add the stage, and it's quite a huge stage. It's 24 foot wide by 20 foot deep. So we have some lighting and some sound equipment there, and we'll be able to provide some nice entertainment there also. So look for a surprise there from the Dunkirk Festivals and Special Events Committee.
Well, it sounds like that 2019 is shaping up to be even bigger than 2018, and I didn't think that was possible. And we've had three really great pieces of news, with being the hot spot, now the grant that's come in, the Blues Bash. I mean, the Race World coming back. I guess that's 4. Math isn't my isn't my forte.
Well,
what else is happening?
I want to thank a couple of very special people to me. Of course, Governor Cuomo, who sent a commendation letter to our office, and I received a commendation letter from Governor Andrew Cuomo. I also received a commendation letter from Senator Young, and I want to thank them both. I was humbled to receive those letters, but it just goes to show you the work has been noticed, around the state, and obviously with the endorsement now of the I Love New York campaign, things will go a little more differently. We'll have a protocol to follow with marketing and that, but they have other contacts that right now I don't have, and I have contacts that they don't have. So we're going to be able to collaborate, and we're going to really push this event. So my main focus will be on that huge event and making it grow and helping it to grow for the next couple of years. And if you thought the hotels were sold out last year, which they were through this event, and we made calls to those hotels, I actually had to give up my room because there was no place to stay for an old lady that was at the counter at the Clarion, so I gave up my room. And I'm sure we're going to need that hotel that the mayor's working on there with the Wingate crew, so we're going to need that soon.
Okay, Mayor, he's thrown the gauntlet. Tell me about it.
Well, we received also some really good news from the state, and again, we have to thank our governor. But they are pushing $500,000 as an incentive for these hotel developers. So we did make contact with the hotel developers, and they've confirmed that they are moving forward with the hotel. So we are still negotiating a contract with them, and until they sign, we have still a lot of work to do.
Okay, but hopefully something will come to fruition soon.
Yes, I believe it will. It's taken a lot longer than I would have liked, but we have to protect the city's interest, and sometimes it's not an easy thing to do. So.
Right. Okay, so now we've talked about the music on the pier, we've got the Winterfest, we've talked about the Blues Bash, the Spring Festival. What other kinds of things are in the works? What other kinds of things are happening in the area of special events this year?
Well, we have plenty of events, not just the spring. We have the Beach Bash. Maybe you want to talk about that.
Well, we open up with the Spring Fest, and then that's a 3-day event, actually, that goes from Thursday through Sunday, because Thursday will kick off the music on the pier.
And when does Spring Fest open?
That's June 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's for the first weekend. And we provide 13 weeks. That's the longest summer concert series in Western New York, 13 weeks long. Used to be 12. We raised it. Not only did you mention the warm-up, I don't call them a warm-up act because the local bands are high caliber, and we, per the mayor, which was his request, we were able to raise enough money to include the local acts as an opening act for the main attractions, which come from throughout the nation. For example, the opener for June 6th, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, is a tribute to Journey, and they're coming from Massachusetts. So that's a long ways to come to do a gig.
And they're the opening act.
They're the opening act for the Music on the Pier. So for all your fans out there, Music on the Pier kicks off June 6th, and we'll run through Labor Day. So put that on your calendars. And by the way, if you need a calendar, the Dunkirk Festivals and Special Events has put together a very fine calendar, and it's available at the Dunkirk Festivals and Special Events office at City Hall. And you're welcome to come until they run out, okay?
So now we start with the Spring Fest on June 6th. We're going to go through Labor Day. Is that what I heard you say?
Right.
And in the middle of all that, we also have July 4th.
Right, July 4th is a huge festival. This year, July 4th, I believe falls on a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, which would then make that quite a long weekend. We could start on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then probably give the staff off on Sunday. But that's a long week, and we usually have a lot of summer activities going on at the time, so that will draw a huge crowd. So the lucky band that gets booked for that day can expect a large and a huge crowd.
Now, when do we do the beach sculpture? Do we still do the beach sculpture?
We do. That's a sand sculptor. That's the world champion, Dan Belcher, and he comes in from St. Louis, Missouri. Last year we incorporated that with the Great Lakes Offshore Grand Prix, and this year we're looking to do that apart. But I put in a couple calls to him, and he agreed to call me back after looking at his schedule and see what date worked for him best.
Okay.
So remember, this is only our first work day of the year, so you're asking me about things that are going to happen in August, and we're not quite there yet.
Right.
So,
Well, I don't know why you're so slow. And then we're going to have our offshore boat race, the Grand Prix boat race.
So the Beach Bash, the Grand Prix. We also have the Spring Fest, the July 4th event. There's another festival coming up that we're looking to do, which is a different ethnicity. We'll try and involve a Bavarian type festival this year. Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot happening on our waterfront, on things that are going on. In addition
Sure.
to the fact that we've got the pier renovation that's starting, and so now we have, thank goodness, we have all the other parks that we're going to be able to use,
Absolutely.
which are very good. What other kinds of things, Mayor, do we need to look forward to for 2019?
Well, I'd like to see a taste of Dunkirk with all of our restaurants in the city, just showcasing, the foods that they make here in the city of Dunkirk. I'd like to see something like that happen. So hopefully we can do something like that. We'll start small and build on it.
So we're really starting with our Winterfest, actually. That's going to be the biggie in February, and it's just going to escalate from there.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and in addition to that, not everything is just on the waterfront, because we're still doing things at the rec center with our kids. We're still listening to what they've told you for the last 2 years when we've done the If I Were Mayor contest, and that will be coming up. Mm-hmm. So we're still talking about that, and they've said we want to have more in the wintertime, more and going on during the early spring before the summer starts. So we're doing that, and we have a lot happening throughout the city in addition to what's just happening here on the pier, what's just happening everywhere else, right?
And let me just add to that, with the Winterfest, we're working in collaboration with the Recreation Department. E.J. Hayes is also a part of it, and Mike Perpiglia is running the ice fishing. If we get that, if the weather cooperates, if it doesn't, it'll be called a cold water tournament. And I think we even have a collaboration with the Con Club for the weighing of the fish and whatnot.
Now, do I understand that there is a monetary prize or some kind of cash?
There's a meeting tomorrow, and we're going to discuss all of that tomorrow.
Okay.
And Ryan Hall is also involved in this.
Sure. Yeah, the recreation.
We have a committee of people that are involved in the planning, and we're still in the planning stages, but really looking forward to it. This is something that came out of a meeting. Council members said they'd like to see something like this, so I sat down with the team, and we're planning it out. So, and again, this will be our first one. We're going to start with just a few things and do them right, and then we're going to try to expand it.
Okay,
We're going to try to make it an annual event.
It's like everything else that Hector and his team have done. Basically, is that they get the idea from somewhere, probably from you or from somewhere else, and they just kind of run with it and build on it. And that's what's happened all summer long for the last 2 summers, and certainly we're looking forward to a bigger summer this year. So we're going to be happy to welcome Race World back for our Grand Prix.
Sure, we want to thank them. We want to thank them also for that horse-drawn carriage.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
We got a lot of compliments on that, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And it was nice. Some of the folks in the community otherwise wouldn't have had a chance to be on a horse-drawn carriage, so it was nice to be able to provide that for them.
Right, and to know that we bring people in, such as Race World, and they give back.
Sure.
And so there's always that's always a positive thing
Absolutely.
to have. So that was very good. Now we have, if I heard you correctly, that there would be more boats than last time. Will we
Yes.
have the waterway for that?
Yes, we'll have waterway. We'll just last year we found there was a little bit of a lull on Saturday, so I'm sure the smaller boats might be able to start on Saturday. We can include the larger boats. If we're going to have 30 to 40 boats, we're going to need an extra time. It's a thrilling event. Last year, one of the boats hit one of the buoys, and so we'll have to move those buoys right out of the way. And the other boat blew an engine, and it's exciting stuff. And these are the fastest boats in the world to have, and we're just thrilled that CBS has picked up, the sponsorship on televising it nationally and internationally. And now that we have I Love New York, who's jumped in, and with their marketing efforts and our marketing efforts, we're really going to make a fine collaboration with this event.
So the exposure that the city of Dunkirk is getting has just been huge.
Absolutely.
From everywhere, certainly from this, but from everywhere, that people are recognizing
Sure.
what's happening and what's going on. And Mayor, that's a lot to be said for you, for what you've done with our governor and with his administration, because they continue to notice. They know we're here.
Yeah.
So
we had people from London, England last year, and New Zealand, Australia. These are some of the boaters that had to freight their equipment in and fly in. Some of them flew into the Dunkirk airport in their own private planes and jets. It's just amazing. This is the amount of revenue that's driven by this Great Lakes Offshore Grand Prix is nothing to laugh at. Let me just tell you, it's in the millions. And when all the hotels are sold out, that pays for the bed tax itself.
Right.
We're happy with the Chautauqua County officials helping out, also the IDA and all of our sponsors, to say the least. But we will continue to have that. We have a commitment already from the top 6 sponsors in the event, so that's great.
That is good news. And our County Executive Barilla was on a couple of weeks back, and he spoke also of the goodwill
Sure.
of having the boat race and the racers, and everyone was just phenomenal. So thank you, Hector. Thank you for bringing that.
One of the things I just want to mention is that we have plenty of people who are sponsors. Obviously, some of the bigger sponsors, we appreciate everything that they do, but there's other people that do sponsor in different ways, local businesses and people in general who have helped out, and we appreciate all of the sponsors.
Sure.
But one of the things I did want to mention that we didn't mention before is that we've been in communication with folks from Dunkirk, France, and the mayor of Dunkirk, France is planning a trip out to New York City, and we're trying to convince him that he should come here to Dunkirk, and we're hoping that we can get that to happen.
They actually want to. I received the letter in French, so we had to have it translated. But the mayor showed me the letter, and he says, "Can you get someone to translate this for me?" And so we translated it. But they wanted the mayor to go up either to Washington D.C. or New York City, and they're going to present the mayor with a medal of some type. And that's just incredible that they can make the effort to come out here. So we'd like to have them come to City Hall, and that would be quite the reward for our City of Dunkirk residents, whose ancestors did a lot for Dunkirk, France, back in that time, in that era. So it'd be nice to be able to share some stories together, whether in French or whatever language.
We'd have to. I'm sure we could find some interpreters somewhere.
Sure, Dr. or Mr. Cologe is a good friend of mine. He used to be my French teacher, and he's agreed to help out. So that's nice to have.
It's just so amazing to me when I, as a resident, somebody who just thinks, just go through the motions and, nothing really is exciting is going on. And then you hear these things and you say, wow, things are really happening in the city of Dunkirk.
Yes,
Sure.
I mean, things are really going on, things that we hadn't thought about or didn't know were going to be happening before. So this is just one more thing. Now, will we have the movie Dunkirk again when he comes?
That was another big thing that happened, and we connected with them. The mayor of Dunkirk, France, and I actually communicated. And like I said, I'm looking forward to finally meeting him if he does come out or if I have to go out there.
The mayor actually sent the mayor Patrice Trevierte is the way you say his last name, but he sent him the wood. The front cover of the movie with Dunkirk.
Okay.
And we had that whole banner at City Hall. So that was put on a wood frame. That was actually Greg Krause's idea. And we got it done, and the mayor was able to send that to the mayor of France. And we got receipt via mail, U.S. mail, that international mail, excuse me, that they had that received that gift. So that's just huge. To have that collaboration. Yeah.
It's just amazing. Well, let's hope that he comes here. That would be great. Good for you. Way to go. Well, I just want to thank the two of you. This has been really exciting, really fast-paced, and I hope that the residents and the taxpayers and all the people who are involved see what's going on in our city, because people wonder, who's paying for this or who's doing that. Let me tell you, it's these sponsors, it's these people who are coming in, who are bringing money into our city.
Sure.
And Hector, I just cannot say enough about the hard work that you do, that your team does. Development Director Yanis with the way she works on the grants, and certainly to the leadership of Mayor Rosas.
Sure. Let me tell you, without the assistance of Mayor Rosas when we need them, and I can just call them. It's nice to be able to have that advantage where I can just call them. And the director, Rebecca Yanis, she's done great. We every one of us are grant writers in that department, which is something that hadn't been seen before. Now anybody can write a grant, but it's the way you present it. And let me tell you, Rebecca has done a phenomenal job for us in the Planning and Development Department. And we were very fortunate to be able to work together and collaborate, and to be awarded that $255,000 for this event is just going to be a huge asset for Dunkirk and its residents. And we hope you all come out and support Dunkirk festivals and special events this year. It's going to be a banner year, 2019. We're going to rock it. And this is the first work day of the year.
Well, but for some of us. Now, I was
Right.
here Monday, so
Oh, were you?
it's my second work day.
Okay.
Right.
Vicki, just one more thing I wanted to add is that, I've heard comments from people who had said that, the city can't afford to have these type of special events here in the city of Dunkirk. And I just want to make it clear to our public that, in my opinion, the city cannot afford not to have these type of events. These events have given the city much exposure, but not only that, it brings in a lot of different people, different tourists. We have city residents who have family members that plan their vacations to town based on our events, and that's huge. So if it costs us a little bit of police protection, extra police protection during these events, it's well worth it. It gives a huge boost to our economy here locally and countywide. So I just wanted to make it clear to the public that the only taxpayer dollars ever spent are spent on the obligations that we have to provide public safety and our DPW issues, period.
Well, and I think that those things, the money that we spend is returned because our businesses prosper. I spoke with people from the Clarion all summer long, the income that they received, the other stores, the other restaurants in the area. So countywide, it really does come back, and it provides an opportunity for people who want to bring businesses, who want to move here, who want to become taxpayers. So we can't just look at it as just one little thing, as in a cost of safety. I think that we have to look at it as in revenue and benefits. So
one more thing to add: the Dunkirk festivals and special events brought in over 120,000 people here. That's tourists, visitors, and Dunkirk residents here. When you add it all up, that's worth it.
That's right. That's great. So City Speaks is here for you. It's our first show of the year, even though it's not some of our first work day. But it is our first show of the year, and thank you. This show is for the residents, it's for the city of Dunkirk. It's brought here by Mayor Rosas, who believes in transparency in his administration. And Mayor Rosas, thank you. Hector, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having us. We're happy to be here.
Well, you're quite welcome. So thank you. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you would like to see, would not like to see, and have a great year. Hi. I'm Vicki Westling, and I have two quick questions that came in for the mayor. One of them is regarding the Whispering Giant. The Whispering Giant is enclosed and is fully protected through the winter months. The Development Department is working with a committee to secure funding to finalize a permanent enclosure. Hopefully that will be done soon. We don't have a date on that or a timeline, but the committee is working on funding for that. So there is a plan in place to enclose the Whispering Giant permanently. The second question that came in was with regard to fireworks noises during the early morning hours, late night. I've spoken with the mayor about this. The mayor is very concerned about certainly these kinds of disturbances. If you are disturbed during the night due to fireworks, due to loud noise, due to whatever it might be, please contact our police department. They're the ones who are best equipped to handle these things. Their number is 366-2266. So again, if you're disturbed during the early morning hours, during the evening, during the night, due to noise or some unusual activity, please contact our City of Dunkirk Police Department, 366-2266. Thank you, and thank you for watching City Speaks.